meeting for Monday, April 15th. To order, Vice Gina Carnes.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda this evening is approval of the regular meeting minutes from April 1st, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from April 1st.
Okay, motion by Terry. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is approval and ratification of bills. If there aren't any questions or concerns about that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bills.
I make a motion to accept the bills.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Clayton, second by Gina. All in favor?
Aye.
Visitors? Tammy? I remembered you today. Yeah. You don't have anything? Okay. All right. Ruby? All right.
What about JD?
JD?
He's eating donuts. He's
good.
he ain't got nothing to talk about. Up next is the second and final reading of an ordinance amending the text of the Leitchfield zoning ordinance to amend the building height. You have that, Arlene?
Whereas the Leitchfield Planning and Zoning Ordinance, Article 3, describes zone descriptions and permitted uses. Whereas it is appropriate to amend said ordinances based on a change in the needs of property and business owners. Whereas such standards will promote the growth and needs of the community. Now therefore be it ordained that ordinance number 99-6, enacted on July 19th, 1999, shall be amended as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them, with added portions being underlined. Article 3, zoning districts established, zone descriptions and permitted uses. B-2, maximum requirements, lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. C-1, maximum requirements, lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. I-1, maximum requirements, lot coverage 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. I-2, maximum requirements, lot coverage 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. And this is the second reading, so we need to take a roll call vote.
Okay. We need a motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance for.
motion by Billy, have a second. Second by Gina. Denny?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you, guys. Okay, next up, first reading of amended ordinance on code enforcement office position.
And what this is Dalton McStutes has been working under Tyler for some time, and I believe that he's going to be appointed as a code enforcement officer as well. Our current ordinance only states that there's one code enforcement officer. This would amend it so that there's additional code enforcement officers.
And that will allow Dalton to do business as Tyler would, as far as if he needed to get a warrant or paperwork and things like that. Would put him on a playing field with Tyler where they wouldn't have to be together all the time, so.
KRS requires us to establish the position, so we'd had to have an ordinance in effect, and if Dalton were to take a position, he's not included in the ordinance, so I'll go ahead and read it tonight. Whereas the City Council of Leitchfield has a duty to enforce the codes established by ordinance, whereas the establishment of positions to enforce said codes is in the best interest of the City of Leitchfield in order to promote the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, whereas it is desirable to establish the positions of code enforcement officers, and the duties of said positions. Now therefore be it ordained of the City of Leitchfield that ordinance 2021-19, enacted on the 15th day of November 2021, be amended as follows, with added portions being underlined and deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them. The employment positions of code enforcement officers are hereby established. Code enforcement officers are granted the authority to issue civil citations for violations of codes of the City of Leitchfield. At least one of the code enforcement officers shall attend each meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. Code enforcement officers shall investigate alleged code violations and perform tasks required to enforce the codes of the City of Litchfield.
Thank you, Arlene. All right, recommendation from the Planning Commission for rezone 204 Kane Avenue from R-5 to R-2.
This is the first night that it's being presented, so we will have to do a vote to accept the recommendation before we do a first reading.
Okay. I have a,
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I second.
Question. Was there controversy or something with it?
No.
Without having somebody from planning and zoning here, I don't know. I haven't
I've not
heard
heard
of
it.
it.
I'm
Did
not
they have
heard
anybody
Well-
at the meeting, or?
Well, it said it was
There
passed
wasn't anybody
unanimously.
at the meeting,
Yeah.
Billy, that
It said it was passed unanimously, so if you'll read in the report, there wasn't anyone who voted against it. There's nothing contained in the report.
Scotty,
If
do
there
you
was-
remember about anybody being here? Because we were here for the second meeting, but I don't know if I come in just a few minutes late.
There was a lady here, and she agreed to let it stand for itself. There was very little discussion.
Yeah, that was her property.
And no controversy.
There was no controversy at all.
It does state in the report it was discussed in detail, and found that it should be granted. That's all the information I'm providing, and then what Scotty just provided to council.
okay.
And if you want to wait until Tyler's here, I know Tyler couldn't be here tonight.
I was there too, Billy, and there was no discussion at all. Everybody was in agreement on the.
Right.
It's
Right.
at,
And also, there was,
Sounds good to me then, guys. I mean,
that's that long
I
brick
just
house
wondered
down
if-
there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that they used to have some
where Carol
apartments
used to
in.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just trying to, why are they doing it? And I guess everybody's got a reason, but
Yeah, we can find out some more
why would they want it?
information.
Ain't that going down?
Well, she's gonna build in behind it, Billy, as you come down, you would come down Mirror Avenue, as you come down Mirror Avenue.
Gotcha.
Comes in the back.
Yes.
They were gonna build something back there in the back. Was what
I mean, we can do the first reading, and if something changes,
We want to wait on Tyler for
I don't,
this?
I mean, if you got a motion, second, that's fine. Let's go
Okay.
ahead.
Who made the motion?
I
Was
did.
Tootie, and second was Clayton. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And before I read, it will just be a first reading, so you can always ask questions before the official vote on the ordinance is taken. An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map of Leitchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Leitchfield, Kentucky is hereinafter described from R-5 multifamily to R-2 single-family medium density, whereas the Leitchfield Planning Commission of Leitchfield, Kentucky on April 8th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-127. The property is currently owned by Christy Lindsay and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-06-03-084, being more particular described in Deed Book 472, page 29, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 204 Kane Avenue, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-5 multifamily to an R-2 single-family medium density. And whereas city council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district is shown on district map entitled Zoning Map. Litchfield, Kentucky, be and same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 4/8/2024 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description PVA number 083-06-03-084, deed book 472, page 29, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office and being located at 204 Kane Avenue, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned R-2, single family medium density after the adoption of this ordinance.
Okay. All right, thank you, Earlene. Next up is approval to have KLC review the personnel policy and update. Do you have anything on that, Lori?
I do. I went ahead and put in your all's packet the quote that they give us. I know the Personnel Committee was in favor of having KLC do that. Thursday, the last meeting at the Utility Commission, they also agreed to pay their half of that. So the bill would be $11,582.32, and that gives us a discount of $7,500 from what it would normally cost since we are members with KLC. And then I can also apply for a grant come fall when our liability grant window opens up, and we can use this invoice toward a $3,000 grant, so we can actually, typically, we always get that grant, so if we get it, it knocks the price down to $8,500 and something. But we do have to pay the full $11,582.32 up front for them to get started on it. And we do need to keep in mind, same as I told Utility Commission, if for some reason we do go away from KLC, we are liable for that, within the next 18 months, we are liable for that $7,500 discount.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions, Lori, about that?
So we just need we'll need a vote on that because we're gonna have to amend the budget because I think we want to go ahead and get started on it this fiscal year because it's gonna take them 6-7 months to get it done, so.
Okay.
A lot quicker than what we would get it done.
I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion to approve to have KLC review the personnel policy and update it.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Need a motion to go into, in a second, to go into executive session at this time.
I make a motion, we go into executive sessions this time.
Okay, motion by Clayton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
And Mayor,
That is
Yeah.
pursuant to KRS 61-810, 1C, pending litigation update, and KRS 61-810, 1B, possible land acquisition.
I'll entertain a motion to come back into regular session.
I make a motion, we
Second.
come back in regular session.
Motion by Clayton, second by Billy. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Everleen?
We, during executive session, I gave an update on any pending litigation. And also, we had discussions on possible land acquisition, and a decision has been reached that we will be purchasing some ground that currently borders the Public Works area. So there'll be further details to come to that at future meetings.
If we could, Mayor, like, maybe we need to reflect on the record that Gina Carnes was not present during the discussion. Part of the,
I already noted that for you. Thank you. You're welcome.
should have known.
Okay. On to unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property.
I have started working on this some. I just haven't had a meeting with Tyler and Dalton yet to go over everything.
Okay. Okay, further discussion on programs for subdivision developers. Denny, did you want to address that?
Yeah, if we could, maybe we need to wait till next council meeting on that, update for us the legal aspects of it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make sure I have it on next meeting then.
Okay, next is further discussion on tax abatement for property taxes on people buying blighted structures and refurbishing.
again, that's a KRS, there's a statute on that, on doing that, and the procedure to do it. We're allowed to do that, cities or counties. I think under the KRS, it has to be a structure that's 25 years old, and basically the purpose of to rehabilitate the structure. That's the whole purpose: encourage repair, rehabilitation, or restoration or stabilization of the existing. Under the KRS, you can do commercial or residential. A lot of them is cities, basically, they have a required procedure which sets out in the KRS is how you go about making an application for it. Once you make the application, then it'd be Tyler's responsibility to approve the application and proceed. There's certain things they have to do, demonstrate that they put a certain amount of money into the structure. And then if they do, a lot of them will have an abatement of the tax increase for the property tax. Some cities do it for like 5 years. So point being, if you've got a structure that's not in good condition, you pay $100,000 for it, you rehabilitate it, you put another $100,000 of your own money, then for 5 years after that, the tax assessed for the city would be at the $100,000. You would not have to pay the $200,000, the $100,000 increase.
Improvement.
Improvement that you made. So the thought being to rehabilitate properties that are in need and maybe, you know, help citizens. Especially I could see more on the commercial aspect of it. The residential I could see being a little more difficult to do. So, but again, the KRS allows commercial and residential.
What happens if the property's sold in 6 months after they redo it?
Under the KRS, you can pass it on to the person that does it.
That buys it?
But again, it's only for 5 years. Well, I guess you can make it longer, but it seems like 5 years is
That'd be a good
long
selling
enough.
feature on remodeling a home.
for business. But
Yeah.
if it's something, you know, we think we're willing to consider, we can draft something up and maybe do it from that point of view. If it's not, then we just move on to something else.
I've got a couple of questions, Denny. Let's just look at the commercial side of it. What about the businesses or industries that we already have?
That's sad because that would be a problem. You got to have a starting point, so you can't make it retroactive. So that would be a problem, especially on the square. You can see the people that's done that. That would have been a perfect situation if we'd have done this a year ago.
Or 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Is this something, y'all think's worthwhile looking into? Do a little more research on it?
I think we need some more research on it, definitely, before we make any type of decision. As far as residential goes, I'm having a hard time differentiating between our dilapidated property program that we already have in place, that where we, either us or the property owner goes in and cleans it up for a set amount, how that would differ from people buying blighted structures and refurbishing it.
It's up to us how we want to do it. If we want to do residential, I'm more in line with the commercial
I mean,
aspect of it,
what I'm
but-
saying is I'm having a difficult time differentiating between our dilapidated property program and
But
someone, I mean,
dilapidated would be non-livable.
well, but blighted, depending on the city's definition that we have in place on blighted can be that also.
I think, Terry, my interpretation is with the residential, with our program, the city pays to clean it up or tear it down. With this program, the individual would be paying to clean it up and fix it up. They would be getting the benefit of the tax break. Does that sound reasonable?
Well, the current program, people come and buy a certificate, a license, and they're actually doing the work themselves too. It's just the debris drop off is just a lot lower in price.
But is that to tear it down or to fix it or both?
There's a remodel
Is there?
portion of
There's a
that too,
remodel,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
we did a
Okay.
program
Well-
for remodeling as well.
Okay, that was what I thought. But I do think more research, and I do think commercial and residential, there's room to do something.
Y'all okay with looking a little further into it, and maybe we can get with Tyler and he can give us some lowdown on terminology and what all that is
He would
when he
probably
comes
have a
back.
good understanding,
Yeah.
or he will know.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
And just, you look through how many places we have that way.
yeah.
You know, the majority are being worked on or already.
Yeah, there's a good portion of them that are, and
Yeah.
we appreciate it
Oh, yeah.
as a city. Okay. So then you want to do some checking on that, get some
Sure.
stuff together?
I think
We'll try
Tyler's
to
even
get
been-
Tyler and get some figures.
Yeah,
and-
we can. And the interesting thing on, on the figures, as far as the city budget, there's no way you could budget this because you don't know what the property tax is gonna be, so there's no way you can say you're gonna lose money because, or budget how much it's gonna cost because you don't know if people are gonna do it, and then
Yeah.
the assessed value before and after, and then our property tax is what, like roughly $100 per 100,000 or something like
Yeah,
that,
roughly.
so even at that, it's not a major amount of money, but I think it's enough to show that citizens that maybe we're helping a little bit
Yeah.
A little incentive.
and have some concerns about helping people.
Is this something that needs to be mentioned to, addressed, introduced, whatever you want to call it, to the fiscal court as well? Because the county property taxes are more than ours, where it may be more.
We can't,
Can't influence
it's strictly,
them.
strictly city program, you can't tell the county to do anything. But we have to use the PVA because they're the ones that assess the value of it. But as far as the county, they'd have to come with their own program.
Program
It requires
and-
an ordinance, so they'd have to have their own.
And they may want to participate in
Follow
something of
suit.
that nature, you know, but we can.
I'm thinking industry-wise, but then again, I feel like we need to survey the industry, commercial businesses that we have in place. Maybe get some feedback from them on a commercial program. I just really hate to see, we definitely need new industry, new commercial businesses, but the ones that we already have in place do not need to be neglected either.
Some of the industry that we've, and I read some of that today, just thinking about this, there are some of them that we have given incentives, some of it in the form of like $1,000 per employee that stays at least 90 days from their hire date, and some things like that. And then there's, I think IDC made a loan to one entity, one business here. So there has been some of that done with industry, but never on this level, on the smaller level. So, and I can get you some copies of those
That would be good.
documents that I've got in. I think there's 4 or 5 of them that we've done.
I think this would be a little bit separate than industry on the commercial.
Yeah.
Talking two different
Yeah.
programs as far as.
But if we also, I mean, if we need industry in our community and we develop a good plan with incentives, maybe that could possibly attract more.
Yeah, and I think.
But then again, I don't want to step on the toes of the industry that we already have.
Yeah.
Because they need to be taken care of as well.
Well,
I think under the KRS, though, we're limited just commercial, residential, not industry.
Yeah.
The
I think
statute
most of them, those
says-
documents that I'll send you guys, I'll have Lori email them out. And
We give good incentives.
give pretty good incentives, and I think most of the industry we have here that have come in the last 8 or 10 years, we've helped. Now, prior to that, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that there was something in place for older industry too. But I'll get those out where you guys can read through them, so you can see what we've done in the past with that, and we can include. I'm not sure if there's been any type of ordinance or rule passed or anything that we do that. I think it's just something we offer new industry stuff coming in. I don't think there's anything official with it, so. Okay. Next up, further discussion on city transportation is, we've talked about a couple of times before, and I think Denny's been in touch with some people about a vehicle maybe. This is something I think would be very useful for our citizens. Really and truly, my biggest worry, really my only worry about it is that we would outgrow one vehicle
Exactly.
pretty quickly, and that's just something that's unknown. We don't know till we get into it, but I think we've got potential to
I think you'd have a lot of people using it that didn't need it. They'd call just to get a ride anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Just to go.
circle town.
Yeah.
Danny, you got some
Well, just,
information on that?
Morgantown's about the only person, our only community that's done this.
Yeah.
And they really don't have that problem. In fact, the driver kind of polices the situation. If they're thinking they're being taken advantage of, it's kind of, you got the impression it was taken care of. Most of the people who utilize it are taking people to the doctor and the grocery.
Yeah.
And initially it was almost all old people, but it's all changed, they said now. It's all ages. And like we said before, when we were on there, they took somebody to work.
Picked up somebody home and took them to McDonald's to work, so young person, so.
And they say in the summertime, it's used a lot to take mothers and fathers and kids to the park. Kids aren't allowed to use it, they have to be accompanied by an adult. So it's, and there's gonna be rules, of course, obviously, that they follow. But the comprehensive plan indicated that transportation was one of the biggest problems that we have, and this would be an area to help with that. My thinking was to try it for maybe a couple of years, see if the program's successful, or even a year, just to get it started. If it's not, then it can be dropped.
They gonna fund it.
We'd have to fund it. Gina's been talking to somebody, I think, would be able to get a bus donated, so we can alleviate that problem. There's some grant opportunities out there. I think we could get some money, but there's no guarantee, so you can't count on it. We were told that somebody's interested in putting an ad on it if we get it. So I think we have potential to actually raise money. Scotty and I sat down and kind of went over it with the cost involved, and we figure at the high end it's going to be about $56,000 or so a year. At the low end, $45,000, and that's part of that's ranging from salary from $15 to $20 an hour for the driver. And it's going to be operated about 6 hours a day, so it's 30 hours. So it'll be a part-time employee, and you're going to need a substitute, of course, on it.
So we pick up like just anybody wherever they needed to go, you know, like people down at the apartments down here, if they need to go somewhere.
Within the city limits.
Within city limits,
Within
can't
city
leave city
limits.
limits. So that's where we needed, you weren't able to drive and she needed to go to the grocery store,
Right.
they would take her and then call whenever they're ready
Be scheduled.
to do a, but they'd have to schedule it. You'd have to okay it first with the person that did it.
Who fields that call?
We would have to fill it. I mean, we'd be the.
Their driver did.
Yeah. The driver.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, Phil. Yeah, the driver did it all. She had her phone.
If the mayor thinks we're going out and grow it immediately, that's gonna get old. They're not going to want
Yeah, the key's gonna
to.
have the right,
The
the
next
right
thing, they're gonna have to
person.
have an office
I don't
to
know.
field it.
Yeah, they,
Yeah, do they use their own phone to field a call, or do they use the Litchfield or Morgantown phone?
they have their own specific phone. The driver had.
Cell
her
phone. I'm not sure if it
So-
was-
And they had it on
Well,
the
I'm sure
side.
they bought it.
Yes, yeah, and that was included in our estimate too, and maintenance.
Yeah.
We had about, and gas. We figured about 12,000 a year in gas. We figured the phone, a couple thousand a year. On it. Maintenance up to 5,000 a year.
You'll also need to estimate about how much insurance will cost.
That was-
Liability?
I had a call, yeah. That one we don't have, I did.
You gonna do wheelchairs, you not, you gonna,
I think you have to.
that's a
They do
huge
wheelchairs.
liability.
But I think it was they had to be able to load themselves.
Can't hear you, Gina.
They had to be able to load themselves. We're not responsible for getting them, like TAC, I think TAC's the one that.
What if they got a partner to load them?
They'd have to unload them.
I think something we need to look at is the population of Morgantown, which is what, 2,700? Compared to Litchfield is a little over 6,400. And the TAC, or the Central Kentucky Community Action, the CK Cats that we talked about a little bit last week, and I didn't know that much about it, and Billy said it was primarily Medicaid. It's not. They offer full services in Grayson County. They do Medicaid, but they also have door-to-door services in Grayson County. You can go anywhere in Kentucky, not just locally. They also have senior services that are, they ask for a $1 donation, but not necessarily it. And that's Monday through Friday. They offer, they have veteran transportation. They have a lot. It's a good idea. Everybody likes free, especially free transportation, but I think we need to look at like what we already have in place here before we jump on, before we go forward with this thought, purchasing a boat, purchasing a bus, or if it's a donated bus, how new is it? We're gonna have to look at repairs. Your driver's gonna have to be CPR certified. Your driver's gonna have to have all medical training. Even if they're not transporting someone with a wheelchair, if you're transporting senior citizens, you've got to be able to administer CPR or anything else that they need. There's a lot of things that, while the idea sounds good, I don't think we are in any position whatsoever to make any kind of decision on this.
Yeah, I guess my question now is this something worth our consideration, you think, and discussion? Or do we want to drop it? What do you guys think about,
I'm kind of like Terry, if we didn't have the cats, then yeah, we need to try to get something for transportation.
3-day appointment
For what?
for appointments.
No. For Medicaid, yes.
So CATS picks up, you can educate me, they pick up non-Medicaid people for free?
They sure do.
That's how I'm affiliated with them.
Yeah.
They do the wheelchairs.
It's more
and
than-
They do the Medicaid, all the Medicaid
It's
patients.
more than just Medicaid transportation.
Right.
So they take them to Walmart and work and whatever they need to do.
And that's all free. I know Medicaid, they get reimbursed by them.
The door-to-door
Medicaid.
service, that charge is $7 each way up to 10 miles. If you want to go farther, you can add $1.75 per mile onto that. Senior citizens, that one is free, but they do ask for, but not require, a $1 donation, and that's available for any passengers ages 60 and older. The veterans, I mean, you all can go online and look at all this stuff just like I did.
So if it's all free, then maybe we just need to put their name and number out on our
I was about to say
website and
maybe.
just say, look, they'll come and pick you up for free. We can just.
The door-to-door is not free.
What,
$7.
$7?
Yeah.
But if you're a senior citizen, you said it was,
Over 60.
it's.
Over 60.
Is it
They
free
have a
if it's over-
grocery day. They have a
It's free.
they have a grocery day for senior citizens where they will take you, let's see, that's on Fridays, and I feel like I'm doing a plug for them.
Citizens need to know that. If they're
They
gonna do all
do.
this for free, then we need to put it on our website and say, Cats will come and pick you up. If you're over 60, they'll come and pick you up and take you wherever. So-
Trips after 2 PM will be charged the general transportation, public transportation rate.
Okay, let's take a moment, step back and look at this. And she's got it, so I want a chance
Sure.
to look at it, so.
And we need to still look into a little more about what you're talking about, maybe
Right.
buy, get in the van and see what it would cost, but I agree with, if it got busy, we need more than, you're gonna have to have 2 drivers and backup drivers.
I know, he said with the comprehensive plan, I just feel like the people that did those studies and those plans would have looked into what we
Well, that
had.
comprehensive plan probably, taxis probably include that too.
I didn't even see, I am on chapter
I'm
8
sure
of the
any kind of-
comprehensive plan that deals with transportation, and everything that I saw in here dealt with, I didn't see anything in here about a bus or taxis. It talked about existing transportation system overviews, the characteristics of commuting, our street classifications. I didn't see anything in here. And even on planned improvements, it talked about redoing some of the roads. So unless I missed something, that's not in there.
Well, they talked about it at the hearings that I attended, and they said that sorely lacking in the city was
Yeah.
transportation for its citizens, so, I mean, which makes sense.
Oh, I'm sure doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's just common.
Yeah, look at how many apartments we got.
I know that one concern that
Demographics.
our job for, our workforce and our industry, I know that they do struggle with getting employees to work, and some have to actually leave work and leave the job and go pick up employees to come into work. I'm not really sure how that would fit into, even if we got a bus, because our factories, I mean, their hours are not 8 to 3
Oh,
or
you
8 to
couldn't
4.
accommodate everybody.
Exactly.
I mean,
So, I mean,
there's
that
no
might-
way in the world you could anyway.
That might be a next step. that
Even
we-
Cats closes.
Right, that might be a next step that we need to look at is, talk to our factories that are struggling to even get workers there, see if we can come up with help in that area.
Okay. So let's just kind of table it for now, and take back and take a look at it a little further, and we can discuss it more as we go.
It's a good plan.
That work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, unfinished business. Billy, do you have
No,
any?
sir.
Terry?
I do not.
Dude?
No, sir.
No, sir. Gene?
Unfinished, no.
Denny?
No, thanks.
Lori? Darlene?
No.
Wes?
The only thing I have is for Councilman Haycraft, still working on I've lost now.
Traffic flow thing?
Yeah, for the handicap. So I'm still working on getting those. I'm gonna have 6 sets to put on while it's.
Oh, the bumps.
The bumps, yeah.
Yes,
The warning bumps. for
Yes.
Sidewalks. So I'm still working on that, so as soon as ever I can get it lined out, what we can put down, then I'll take care of that.
sounds good.
That's all I've got. I'm getting lost for words.
David? No, sir. Okay. All right, new business. Police Department activity report.
Okay, I put down there the activity report for the first quarter of 2024 for the animal shelter, and also for the first quarter for LPD stats. Down here where it says calls for service, included in that is like domestics, business escorts at night, just general info calls, medical assist, traffic, traffic control. I think on the next one, I will break it down just a little bit more, break the actual calls down instead of just a total calls for service. So it'd be a little bit more comprehensive for you guys to see what we actually are dealing with. But these numbers are very accurate. So if you got any questions or anything, I'll be glad to answer any of them before we move on.
Do you want to have any questions for David?
If anybody has any questions. The next ones that I present to you guys will be a lot more detailed. I just looked at them and I just happened to think, it probably needs to be broke down a little bit more than it is.
I'm amazed we don't have any more wrecks on there.
We have quite a few.
Yeah, 72 is quite a bit.
Okay. Next up is waiver from Anthony and Mary Alice Meredith at 608 North Broadway, consenting to close 2 unimproved right-of-ways located on said property.
Currently, there are 2 unused right-of-ways. It looks like they've been abandoned for several years. The property owners are in agreement with them being closed. They've signed a waiver. Tonight, we just need to take a vote on it, and then I would draft the ordinance to do a first reading next meeting.
Okay. 608 North Broadway.
Do nobody benefit from it but them?
No, they're, and I mean, I can bring the maps and show them to council. I know the property owners really want them closed. I don't think that they're any benefit. They're basically on dead-end streets, I believe,
So it don't go all the way through to a main road?
No.
You're just gonna draft it up and bring it next time, so we have time to look it
Yes.
up, so.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that, so Earlene can go ahead and get us
I
some
make a
paperwork on it.
motion on the waiver of Anthony and Mary Alice Meredith at 608 North Broadway.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, new business. Billy?
No, sir.
Terry?
I do have a couple, question for Wesley. How many workers are you short now? Just one truck driver and a couple of street, or,
Yes, I think so.
so
I
3?
think that's where we're at. We're advertising for, taking applications for a CDL driver now. I don't know, as last I heard, we still haven't had any turned in. And we've been advertising for close to 2 weeks now. So we're just hoping we'll get some here before too long.
So 1 CDL driver, and then did you have
Street department workers.
2 street department workers?
So we're gonna try to draft something up after we get done with this one with our CDL. The CDL drivers are our main concern right now, because I'm shorthanded on truck drivers. But after we kind of get that squared away, then we'll focus on filling the other 2 spots.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Tootie?
No, sir.
Clayton?
No, sir.
Gina?
I actually have one thing, and it's
Okay.
for Tammy. Tammy, someone asked me about playground equipment on the upper part of Bevel Park. Is that something we can maybe think about for the future?
Yeah, I've thought about that. I've had a few people ask me about it. I was just trying to take care of the playgrounds that we have at this time. But the thing I would like to put up there is more of a climbing structure versus a playground, just because of the fall zone that we'd have to have, and it would take up less space.
I just know, we don't even have the swings up there anymore. do
No
we?
swings.
The only thing we have are the tires.
Oh, it's the
There's a ball
tires.
court up there?
Old as I am.
I'm sorry?
There's a ball court up there, isn't there?
No, that
No.
was taken out. Nobody used it,
Yeah.
so we took it out, and that's where part of our walking trail went through.
Yeah, just know we have the pavilions up there.
Yeah, the
People use
pavilions.
those for
Pavilions,
Parties.
the roof was replaced on the pavilions, and then we have some tires that I would just really love
Yeah,
to
they-
remove.
Yes.
They just become a habitat for snakes, bees, hornets, you name it. So,
Surprised they're still there. They're so back as I can remember.
but that's just a climbing structure like the old monkey bars used to have. They have some that, I think I can have some pictures where you can go inside and climb on things and climb outside, just something small enough to
I just know they
entertain.
had mentioned that, like, when the big pavilion is rented and
Mhm.
you use the smaller ones, there's really nothing up there to
Yeah, that is true.
occupy the kids, so,
That is true.
thank you.
Anything else? Danny?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Lori? Burley?
No.
Wes?
Yeah, I was just gonna let the council know that I'm gonna advertise for bids for a new set of scales at the transfer station. Ours has become the point where every morning when we go in, we're not sure if they're gonna work. This morning, they worked for about 15 minutes, and then they went out. We were fortunate enough that the company could send somebody down, and they got them back going by around lunchtime. This is becoming, every time it rains or something, it seems like at least once a week, we're having to shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna advertise for bids, and then we get some numbers in, and then go from there.
Thank you.
Do most of them people come and install them that you buy them from, or do you have to install?
No, everything will be completely done, yeah. That's all included with the pricing, so once we get some numbers, then we'll know for sure where we're at. But it's to the point now, I think life expectancy on them are like 20 years, and those have been there 26, I believe now. So they've been a good set, but
Yeah.
they just kind of get to that point. So, and it's very costly what we've spent. I'm not sure what we've spent the past 6 months on them, but it's been a lot. And I don't see it getting any better.
Probably at least a fourth or maybe a little more of what a new set would cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I get that, I'll get something drawn up, spec'd out, and exactly what we need and all that, and we'll get some numbers back, and then we can kind of go from there. That's all I've got.
David?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Other, here at the end, reminder, there will be an Animal Shelter Committee meeting on May 6th at 5 p.m. The next chamber luncheon is Tuesday, May 14th at noon, and please let Lori know no later than noon on Friday, May 10th, if you plan to attend. And one thing I've got that's not on here is Miss Willie came by today. She says June the 2nd is Crusade for Children at the firehouse, Ronald Hudson Firehouse. And she would surely appreciate it, she said, if we'd all be there. So I think from around 11-ish to 2, Billy, isn't that about right?
Yes,
Somewhere
that's when they come and
Yeah,
do the
okay.
TV gigs.
Okay. All right. Is there any other business or anything before we adjourn? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Clayton, have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Terry, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys.